much. Really nice to speak to you, obviously, Ben, as always.
Yep.
But we'll have some pressing news today. Conor Ben, Chris Eubank, get into it today. Just your first reaction to what happened.
I saw it. It's a huge fight. I've seen the reaction, but to be honest, I thought it was disrespectful to confront a man when he's making weight. I think Conor couldn't help himself, but the reaction, the numbers, the fight is massive. But as I say, I wouldn't go near a fighter when he's making weight. I think that's disrespectful.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. I want to ask you your opinion on exactly where these talks are at the moment in terms of Conor Ben, Chris Eubank. Conor suggested in that video with Chris Eubank Jr. that he will get into the ring tomorrow night and that he has to make sure that he can secure the bag by getting the win tomorrow night. That would suggest to me that there's already been discussions between the camps. Has there been?
There's always talks and there's always bits, but no detail, because until Conor Ben has a license and until that's official, then obviously the negotiations can't fully start. He expects that he's going to be free to fight very, very soon. But we've been hearing that a long time. It's obviously a huge fight. I hope for his sake that he's boxing soon, but until then, negotiations can't really start.
Hypothetically speaking then, if this fight is to happen, is it a fight that lands in Wembley, Spurs Stadium? Is it a fight that Boxer and Sky Sports like? Is it a fight that Matchroom and DAZN are going to take? What way do we go down that route, Ben?
I'd like to see it at Spurs. I'd like to see it in London. I think it sells it out. But we're still some distance away. But it's a huge fight. And we'd love to put it on. Obviously, Chris is the A side. It's a massive fight for both of them. The history, the legacy, what happened last time. You know, it's bordering given where AJ and Fury are at on the biggest fight in British boxing. But it's hard to even tempt yourself to think about it until Conor's got a license, because, you know, Chris has been waiting a long time for that.
You said you thought it was disrespectful that Conor pulled up on Chris Eubank. To be fair, I don't think he pulled up on him as such. They kind of just met in the front of the reception. I don't think it was intentional. Obviously, he's in the middle of doing an interview with us, and then they both clash. When you watched that footage, did you see fear in either one of them?
Chris looked so calm and relaxed. Conor's pent up, he's angry, he's frustrated, probably frustrated he's been out the ring a long time and knows that Chris is his payday. I think, what did he say? He wants to secure the bag. I think that's very obvious. I think for Chris, he's got so many big fights that he can take. Of course, this is an absolute huge fight. But Chris, as usual, is calm, cool, collected, ready for tomorrow night, which he needs to be focused on.
On the flip of what you've just said, Eddie and Conor both referred to, you know, having opportunities elsewhere. Eddie said they can go down the route of Stanionis, they can go Boots Ennis, they can go Gervonta Tank Davis. There's a list of names they can go for. So they would say that, you know, they don't need Chris Eubank Jr. right now. What would you say back to that?
I mean, the names you listed, he's not going to be fighting. I think he wants a Chris Eubank Jr. fight. I think he makes that clear. I think that's the reason he's here. Chris has a lot of options. We like the Canelo fight. We'd like to see that back on. It's a huge fight, as I say, Conor Ben, but Conor needs to sort his license out. And once that's sorted, the fight's not going to happen unless Conor Ben has a license.
A lot of people have also mentioned Hamzah Sheeraz's name in the mix with Chris Eubank Jr. Is that a fight that you would welcome?
No, I think Chris is at the stage of his career where he wants the fights that are going to stop people on the street, and that's Canelo.
But $5 million, which is what's rumoured for Hamzah Sheeraz, is that not a... I mean, for a guy who ultimately has said that he's only really interested in making money at this point, is that not a no-brainer to fight Hamzah Sheeraz for $5 million?
There's just fights where he'll make more money. It's as simple as that. They just are.
What's the fight that he'll make more money, Ben?
Depending on how things go, a world title possibly. Definitely Canelo, a lot more. Definitely Conor Ben, a lot more. Definitely Billy Joe Saunders if he comes back, a lot more. And I think Chris is at the stage of his career where he's at such a peak of his powers from a star perspective that he doesn't want to be doing anyone any favours. He wants to be securing himself with the biggest fights.
Then obviously that leads me to the question about Canelo, right? So 7.5 million, which is rumoured that was offered. Why did he not take that? if that's the case?
Look, I'm not going to get into exactly what it was because that was a private, negotiation. But he said before he's going into that fight to win it. He's not going in on 7 weeks' notice for money that is less than other fighters have got to fight Canelo that have nowhere near the star power of Chris Eubank Jr. It's a huge fight. We've already started, putting the feelers out for Cinco de Mayo. And so there's big options there for Chris Eubank Jr. And that's the dream fight, and that's number one on the list.
Well, Ben, I think we'll leave it there. I appreciate your time, mate, and we'll catch up again this week.